Some fast food customers are boycotting, and China could experience a 2008-style financial crisis. Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Please also share this video with your friends. Thank you for your support. Today, I read several financial news articles. I've included links to the articles in the description below. I encourage you to read the articles to support the authors and news sources. As a private American citizen, I'd like to report and share my transformative thoughts through commentary regarding small sections of these articles that are of public interest. Today, I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by CNN and written by Allison Morrow, titled $3 for a single McDonald's hash brown. Customers are fed up and pushing back. According to the author, corporate America may be bumping up against the limit of its power to keep raising prices as consumers in some markets cry uncle. Well, my friends, when I read this, I just had to report about it because there are a lot of loyal McDonald's fans who go there regularly. It is interesting that some consumers may be starting to push back. The author goes on to say McDonald's reported weaker than expected sales at its U.S. stores, and the CEO addressed McDonald's affordability problem and indicated the chain would cut prices on some menu items. He went on to say, and I'll quote, "Eating at home has become more affordable." Well, my friends, I don't think that is anything new. If you are strategic about what you buy at the grocery store, eating at home can be a lot cheaper than fast food and a lot healthier in many cases. The author of this article went on to talk about how McDonald's has become a regular target for social media users complaining about prices. The author referenced a story about an $18 Big Mac meal in Connecticut off of I-95 and hash browns that cost $3 in some locations. Well, my friends, we keep hearing that inflation is coming down and the Fed may cut rates at some point in the future. Apparently, Jerome Powell hasn't been to some McDonald's locations recently. I'm sure he gets wined and dined at some very nice establishments as part of his job. I can't imagine he has to sit in a plastic chair or booth at some McDonald's. I read some of the comments beneath this story, and I found some of them to be very interesting. One commenter said, "I remember a long time ago, McDonald's used to advertise change back from $1. Those days are long gone." Another commenter said, "The low prices are the only reason I eat at McDonald's. I haven't been eating there nearly as much." The next individual wrote, "It's not just McDonald's, it's everywhere. People have slowed their food purchases at restaurants, and it will get worse as more and more people suddenly realize that their lunch should not be that expensive." Another person wrote, "We the people need to stick together and just stop eating at McDonald's and watch what happens to McDonald's." Another commenter said, "Corporate greed will be the end of America." I'm curious if any of these comments resonate with you. If so, tell me about it in the comment section below. I looked up how much a hamburger cost at McDonald's when they first opened in 1955. The price was only 15 cents. How times have changed at McDonald's and in society as a whole. I read another article today on Yahoo Finance put out by CNN and written by Jordan Valinsky titled "Taco Bell and KFC are feeling the pressure from price-conscious consumers." According to the author, Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut's parent company is facing the same problem as its rivals. Fast food is getting too expensive and consumers are pushing back. For those of you who don't know, Yum Brands is the parent company for Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut. The author indicated Yum Brands is the third fast food company to report a disappointing earnings report as consumers more closely examine where they're spending money. Well, my friends, McDonald's is not alone. I actually am a bit surprised to hear about customers not spending as much on fast food. The reason I say this is because consumers still have access to credit cards and buy now, pay later loans. I've read stories in the past about people who actually use buy now, pay later loans to buy fast food. For diehards who love their fast food, you'd think they'd find a way to get what they crave. Maybe the diehards are still doing this, and the rest of the people who have typically bought fast food for convenience or price are now deciding to do something different. I read some of the comments beneath this article just to get a pulse for what people were thinking. One commenter said, "I used to get a 10-piece bucket for $8.99. Now, I don't go to KFC because they want $15.99 for 8 pieces. Another person said, "I think the whole country should brown bag it for a month and make them get prices back in line." The next commenter said, I used to love Taco Bell, still do in fact, but I can't support those prices. I used to go there 3 to 4 times a week. Now I might go there once a month. It's just not worth it anymore. Well, my friends, it will be very interesting to see what these fast food companies do to keep customers coming back for more food. Maybe they will decrease portion sizes and lower prices. Perhaps they will come out with some new tasty menu items that will attract customers. They could look for ways to be more efficient so that they can lower their prices. Time will tell. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on Yahoo Finance, put out by Business Insider and written by Philip DeMott, titled, China is facing the U.S. financial crisis on steroids as its real estate market collapses, famed hedge fund boss says. The author of this article referenced Kyle Bass, the founder of Heyman Capital, as saying, China's over-reliance on real estate has sent its economy tumbling towards what could be a version of the U.S.'s 2008 financial crisis. Kyle Bass said, and I'll quote, this is just like the U.S. financial crisis on steroids. They have 3.5 times more banking leverage than we did going into the crisis. And they've only been at this banking thing for a couple of decades. Well, my friends, that is a frightening thing to ponder. Let's hope China does not suffer a version of the U.S.'s 2008 financial crisis on steroids. That could be really devastating to families in China, and I hate to think about anyone having to suffer. Because we all live in a global economy, what happens across the world could possibly impact us here in America. Kyle Bass went on to say, virtually every public or listed Chinese developer is in default. 2 of the biggest, Evergrande and Country Garden, have a collective debt of more than $500 billion. In January, a Hong Kong court ordered the liquidation of Evergrande, and its collapse is sparking fears of systemic risks to come. By comparison, the U.S. banking system lost about $800 billion during the financial crisis, later re-equitized through fresh capital. Chinese officials have been hesitant to provide the kind of economic stimulus the U.S. did in response to 2008. Well, my friends, this does not sound good. I found it interesting that he said Chinese officials have been hesitant to provide the kind of economic stimulus the U.S. did in response to 2008. I have always wondered what would have happened had U.S. officials not intervened back in 2008 and just let the market be free. I suspect a lot of companies would have likely failed. A lot of banks may have failed. Unemployment may have increased further, and life could have gotten really tough, perhaps even on a Great Depression scale. I have to wonder if we would all be a lot better off today if U.S. officials had not intervened back in 2008. We probably would not have the super banks that we have today. We probably would not have seen asset prices rise to the levels where they are today. We probably would not have as many billionaires as we have today. The gap between the haves and the have-nots in this country may not have grown as wide. Perhaps the system may have collapsed completely. There were fears of that back in 2008. Even if the system had collapsed, I'm sure a new system would have risen from the ashes. Perhaps it would have been better than what we have now. No one will ever know, though. Maybe Chinese officials are reflecting on what the U.S. did back in 2008 and are deciding to take a different course of action. It would be very interesting to know what they are thinking and how they plan to proceed. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. Check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.